A GFCI breaker tripping can stem from several potential causes. Firstly, a faulty GFCI breaker is a common culprit. The combined load of the refrigerator and shop vac operating simultaneously might have damaged the GFCI breaker, leading to its continuous tripping. Secondly, a ground fault somewhere within the circuit's wiring can activate the GFCI breaker. This could arise from compromised insulation or a loose wire making unintended contact with a grounded surface. Thirdly, the GFCI breaker itself houses a capacitor, which is susceptible to failure over time. A malfunctioning capacitor can trigger the breaker to trip even without the presence of an actual ground fault. To systematically address this issue, firstly, carefully inspect all electrical connections and wiring within the circuit, looking for signs of damage or loose connections. Tighten any loose terminals that you find. Replace any wires that appear damaged. Secondly, employ a multimeter to test for ground faults. Set the multimeter to measure resistance in ohms. Then, measure the resistance between the live wire and ground. If the resistance reading is significantly low, for instance below 5 megohms, it strongly suggests the existence of a ground fault. Thirdly, after addressing any potential issues you've uncovered, attempt to reset the GFCI breaker. If the breaker continues to trip despite your efforts, it is highly probable that the breaker itself is faulty and needs replacement. Fourthly, if the preceding steps fail to resolve the problem, replace the GFCI breaker with a new one. Ensure that the replacement breaker matches the correct amperage and type specifications for your circuit. Fifthly, thoroughly inspect the refrigerator and shop vac for any visible damage or signs of overcurrent. If these appliances sustained damage during the circuit trip event, they might require servicing or replacement. As a precautionary measure, always disconnect the power at the main electrical panel before undertaking any work on electrical circuits. If you are not confident or comfortable with troubleshooting electrical problems, it is best to seek assistance from a licensed electrician. Remember, electrical work can be hazardous, and it's better to be safe than sorry. Consider the refrigerator and shop vac each time you plug them in. Over time, the capacitor in the GFCI can age and cause the breaker to trip when a device with a high inrush current is plugged in. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides guidance on electrical installations. Article 210.8 covers ground fault circuit interrupter protection for personnel. It specifies where GFCI protection is required in dwelling units and other locations. For example, 210.8. A5 typically requires GFCI protection for all 125 volt, 15 amp and 20 amp receptacles installed in basements. The NEC doesn't explicitly prohibit using GFCI breakers instead of GFCI receptacles as long as the installation meets the requirements for GFCI protection. However, local codes may have specific requirements. The advantage of using a GFCI breaker is that it protects the entire circuit, including the wiring and all devices connected to it. This can be beneficial in situations where the wiring is old or damaged, or where there is a risk of water intrusion. The disadvantage of using a GFCI breaker is that it can be more difficult to troubleshoot problems, as it's not always clear which device is causing the trip. Also, if the GFCI breaker trips, it will shut down the entire circuit, which may be inconvenient. When troubleshooting a tripping GFCI, it's important to follow a systematic approach. Firstly, identify the potential causes of the trip, such as a ground fault, an overload, or a faulty device. Secondly, inspect the wiring and devices connected to the circuit for any signs of damage or wear. Thirdly, use a multimeter to test for ground faults and continuity. Fourthly, if you suspect that a device is causing the trip, disconnect it from the circuit and see if the problem goes away. Fifthly, if you've ruled out all other possible causes, replace the GFCI breaker with a new one. Ground faults are a common cause of GFCI trips. A ground fault occurs when current flows through an unintended path to ground, such as through a person's body. GFCI breakers are designed to detect ground faults and quickly shut off the power to prevent electric shock. Overloads can also cause GFCI breakers to trip. An overload occurs when the circuit is drawing more current than it is designed to handle. This can happen if you plug too many devices into the circuit at the same time, or if a device is drawing more current than it should. Faulty devices can also cause GFCI breakers to trip. A faulty device may have a short circuit or a ground fault that is causing the breaker to trip. To test for a ground fault using a multimeter, set the multimeter to the ohms setting. Disconnect the power to the circuit. Connect one lead of the multimeter to a known good ground, such as a metal water pipe. Connect the other lead of the multimeter to the hot wire of the circuit. If the multimeter reads a low resistance, it indicates that there is a ground fault. To test for continuity, set the multimeter to the continuity setting. Disconnect the power to the circuit. Connect one lead of the multimeter to one end of the wire. Connect the other lead of the multimeter to the other end of the wire. If the multimeter beeps, it indicates that the wire has continuity. If you suspect that a device is causing the trip, disconnect it from the circuit and see if the problem goes away. If the problem goes away, then the device is likely the cause of the trip. If you've ruled out all other possible causes, replace the GFCI breaker with a new one. When replacing a GFCI breaker, be sure to choose the correct amperage rating for the circuit. The amperage rating is the maximum amount of current that the circuit can handle. You can find the amperage rating on the circuit breaker itself. Also, be sure to choose a GFCI breaker that is compatible with your electrical panel. Some electrical panels require specific types of breakers. Once you've chosen the correct GFCI breaker, turn off the power to the circuit. Remove the old breaker from the panel. Install the new breaker in the panel. Turn the power back onto the circuit. Test the new breaker to make sure that it is working properly. To test the breaker, press the test button on the breaker. The breaker should trip. Reset the breaker by moving the switch to the off position and then back to the on position. If the breaker does not trip when you press the test button, or if it does not reset properly, then the breaker is faulty and needs to be replaced. Remember, safety is paramount when working with electricity. Always disconnect the power before starting any work. Wear appropriate safety gear such as insulated gloves and eye protection. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, consult a qualified electrician. The NEC also contains tables that provide information on conductor ampacity. For instance, table 310.15. B16 provides ampacity ratings for conductors based on their insulation type and temperature rating. This table is essential for determining the appropriate size of conductors for a given circuit. In addition to GFCI protection, the NEC also requires arc fault circuit interrupter, or FSI, protection in many areas of the home. FSIs are designed to protect against fires caused by arcing faults, which can occur when there is a loose connection or damaged insulation. Arcing faults can generate high temperatures that can ignite nearby materials. Article 210.12 of the NEC specifies the requirements for FSI protection. The NEC also addresses overcurrent protection in Article 240. Overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, are designed to protect electrical circuits from overloads and short circuits. When an overcurrent occurs, the overcurrent protection device will trip or blow, interrupting the flow of electricity and preventing damage to the circuit. Article 250 of the NEC covers grounding and bonding. Grounding is the process of connecting electrical equipment to the earth, which provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source. Bonding is the process of connecting different metal parts of the electrical system together, which helps to ensure that they are at the same potential. Proper grounding and bonding are essential for safety, as they help to prevent electric shock and fires. The NEC also contains requirements for wiring methods, such as the type of cable or conduit that can be used in different locations. Article 300 covers general requirements for wiring methods, while Articles 310 through 398 cover specific wiring methods, such as non-metallic sheath cable, or ROMEX, and electrical metallic tubing, or EMT. The NEC also addresses voltage drop in Article 210.19. Voltage drop is the decrease in voltage that occurs along a conductor due to the resistance of the conductor. Excessive voltage drop can cause equipment to malfunction or fail. The NEC recommends limiting voltage drop to 3% for branch circuits and 5% for feeders. When working with electrical systems, it is important to be aware of the potential hazards and to take precautions to protect yourself. Always disconnect the power before working on electrical equipment. Wear appropriate safety gear such as insulated gloves and eye protection. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, consult a qualified electrician. The NEC is a complex document, but it is essential for ensuring the safety of electrical installations. By following the requirements of the NEC, you can help to prevent electric shock, fires, and other electrical hazards. Remember to consult the latest edition of the NEC for the most up-to-date requirements. In addition to the NEC, local codes may also have specific requirements for electrical installations. It is important to check with your local building department to determine the applicable codes in your area. GFCI breakers are designed to trip when they detect a ground fault of 6 mA or more. This is a very small amount of current, but it is enough to cause a dangerous electric shock. When a GFCI breaker trips, it interrupts the flow of electricity within a fraction of a second, which can prevent serious injury or death. GFCI breakers are typically tested by pressing the test button on the breaker. When the test button is pressed, it simulates a ground fault, which should cause the breaker to trip. If the breaker does not trip when the test button is pressed, it is faulty and needs to be replaced. GFCI breakers should be tested monthly to ensure that they are working properly. When installing a GFCI breaker, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. The breaker should be installed in a location that is easily accessible and protected from moisture. The breaker should also be properly wired according to the electrical code. GFCI breakers are an important safety device that can help to protect people from electric shock. By understanding how GFCI breakers work and how to test them, you can help to ensure the safety of your home or business. Remember that a refrigerator has an inductive load and an inrush current may be 5 times the normal running current. Shop vacs also have a similar characteristic. So while both devices may be rated at 10 amps running load, the inrush current could be close to 100 amps. A standard breaker will handle the short inrush time period, but a GFCI breaker may have a problem with the higher current and potentially trip or damage the breaker. If the new breaker trips without any load connected to it, then you may have damaged wiring. Look for staples that may have pierced a wire during the installation. Look for loose connections as well. A short circuit may not trip the breaker immediately, but it could cause a dangerous condition. Ground fault circuit interrupters, GFCIs, are essential safety devices designed to protect individuals from electrical shock. They work by monitoring the current flowing through a circuit and quickly interrupting the power if a ground fault is detected. A ground fault occurs when electricity flows outside its intended path, such as through a person's body, creating a potentially dangerous situation. The NEC mandates GFCI protection in various locations to minimize the risk of electrical shock. These locations typically include bathrooms, kitchens, garages, outdoor areas, and unfinished basements, where the likelihood of contact with water or grounded surfaces is higher. GFCIs are designed to trip when they detect a current imbalance of as little as 6 mA, which is a small amount of current that can still be hazardous. This rapid response time, typically within milliseconds, is crucial in preventing serious injury or death. There are 2 main types of GFCIs: GFCI receptacles and GFCI circuit breakers. GFCI receptacles are installed in place of standard electrical outlets and provide protection only at the specific location. GFCI circuit breakers, on the other hand, are installed in the electrical panel and provide protection for the entire circuit. When choosing between GFCI receptacles and GFCI circuit breakers, consider the specific needs of the application. GFCI receptacles are suitable for protecting individual outlets in areas where GFCI protection is required. GFCI circuit breakers are a better choice when you want to protect an entire circuit, such as a bathroom circuit that serves multiple outlets and lighting fixtures. Regular testing of GFCIs is crucial to ensure they are functioning properly. The test button on the GFCI device simulates a ground fault and should cause the device to trip. It is recommended to test GFCIs monthly to verify their functionality. If a GFCI fails to trip during the test, it should be replaced immediately. When installing GFCIs, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. Incorrect wiring can render the GFCI ineffective or even create a dangerous situation. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to install GFCIs. GFCIs can sometimes trip nuisance trips, which are trips that occur when there is no actual ground fault. These trips can be caused by various factors such as electrical noise, faulty appliances, or moisture. If you experience frequent nuisance trips, it is important to investigate the cause and take steps to resolve it. This may involve replacing faulty appliances, improving the grounding of the electrical system, or installing surge protectors. In addition to protecting against electrical shock, GFCIs can also help to prevent electrical fires. Ground faults can sometimes lead to arcing, which can generate high temperatures and ignite nearby materials. By interrupting the flow of electricity quickly, GFCIs can prevent arcing and reduce the risk of fire. GFCIs are an essential part of a safe electrical system. By understanding how they work and using them properly, you can protect yourself and your family from the dangers of electricity. If you have any questions about GFCIs, consult a qualified electrician. In older homes, GFCIs may not be present in all the required locations. Upgrading the electrical system to include GFCIs in these areas is an important safety improvement. When upgrading an electrical system, it is important to ensure that the wiring is in good condition and that the grounding is adequate. If the wiring is old or damaged, it should be replaced. The grounding system should be inspected and upgraded if necessary. GFCIs are available in different amperage ratings to match the requirements of the circuit they are protecting. It is important to choose the correct amperage rating for the application. Using a GFCI with an incorrect amperage rating can create a safety hazard. GFCIs are also available in different voltage ratings. It is important to choose a GFCI with the correct voltage rating for the application. Using a GFCI with an incorrect voltage rating can create a safety hazard. GFCIs are designed to be tamper-resistant to prevent children from inserting objects into the slots. Tamper-resistant GFCIs have internal shutters that prevent access to the slots unless a 2-prong plug is inserted. Surge protection devices, or SPDs, can help protect GFCIs from damage caused by voltage surges. Voltage surges can occur due to lightning strikes, power outages, or other electrical disturbances. SPD divert excess voltage away from the GFCI, preventing it from being damaged. GFCI should not be used to protect equipment that is sensitive to power interruptions. If a GFCI trips, it will interrupt the power to the equipment, which can cause it to malfunction or be damaged. For sensitive equipment, it is better to use a dedicated circuit with surge protection. GFCIs are an important safety device that can help protect people from electrical shock. By understanding how GFCIs work and using them properly, you can help ensure the safety of your home or business. Consult a qualified electrician for any questions or concerns about GFCI installation or maintenance. Always prioritize safety when working with electrical systems.